Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to Nurturing Leadership. We've had some amazing times talking about the purpose. The first 8 episodes were about the Purpose Series. I called it the Purpose Series. I felt that was a really good place to start. And then last week, I filmed a podcast episode with Mike, the co-author of the book, How to Lead with Purpose, and the co-founder of Nurturing Leadership. We had a great chat about our journeys, what we've been doing to work on ourselves personally, understanding ourselves at a deeper level to try and, I suppose, be more present and to help lead people better, understanding the fundamentals of the self, which will correlate to the leadership program that Nurturing Leadership will offer in the future. A couple of projects we're working on at the moment, though. We are currently still filming all of these episodes, and now we'll be taking a short break shortly because I have next week where we're filming the other podcast, Leading Our Own Way. Got some amazing guests that we will. Sorry, I can't even talk today. Need my coffee. It's early morning here in Australia at the morning, but I thought it was a good time to film. But so Leading Our Own Way. All the guests are lined up for most of the first season, and we've got some amazing guests that are going to share some inspiring stories where they triumphed from adversity, struggled with bullying as a child, maybe child trauma, child-informed trauma, and how they've, I suppose, led their own way, the core values. But we'll get more into that in the future. Today, though, let's get on with today's episode. We have been now beginning the Neuroscience Series. I felt like it was a really good place to start before we go on to the Victim Series. But we're going to go do quite a few episodes on the Neuroscience series. We feel like it's a good place to start, like I mentioned earlier. Some of the things we will be talking about are things like, neuroplasticity, understanding the brain. You can see actually the new studio behind us, and I've got quite a lot of the books that I've been reading. And I've started, for example, I was reading the Sleep book, Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker, and I felt like I needed to actually understand more about the brain in order to understand the book more. I'm on to page like 83. And I loved it. It's a great read so far, and I've learned so much from Matthew Walker with listening to his podcast too. But I felt like I needed to go a little bit deeper in order to understand the more complexity of sleep, and then to be able to relay that information back to people once I understood more. So reading through those books are really fascinating, and I kind of put all those things together, and we've translated that into the leadership side of things. So we're gonna go through things like neuroplasticity. We're going to look at some of the human hormones like trust and oxytocin, emotional intelligence, stress management, rewards and motivation, cognitive bias awareness, empathy in the mirror neurons, change of management. Well, things like when change of management happens, how do we understand the neuroscience basis insights to how the brain responds to change. A lot of leaders don't even think about that side of things. And then mindfulness and self-awareness. They're some of the topics we will be going over. And within each of those episodes, we will be going over, a few times we'll go over the same things, but how they respond to those particular sections. So, for example, we might be talking about better communication, but let's look at better communication under the emotional intelligence lens, and then under the neuroplasticity lens, and then under the stress management lens, and then under the rewards and motivation lens. So we will be repeating ourselves under the same topics a few times, but under understanding the different neuroscience-based leadership concepts. So that's kind of a little bit of an intro, and I thought we'd start off by just looking at the general concepts. It is essential. The neuroscience-based leadership concepts are essential because they provide a scientific foundation for effective leadership. By understanding how the brain functions, hence why I bought these books, and I thought it was really good to put on display, and how it influences behavior. Leaders, for example, can enhance team performance, improve decision-making, boost innovation, reduction of conflict, enhance well-being, navigate change successfully, all in which fostering a positive organization culture. So let's have a look at how enhancing teams' performance. When diving deep into this intriguing topic that's all about enhancing team performance through neuroscience-based leadership concepts, It's a fascinating area that, delves into how understanding our brain can significantly impact how we lead teams, foster trust, motivation, and collaboration, ultimately resulting in higher productivity and engagement. So let's grab a drink and then let's get started. Now, so let's talk about neuroscience-based leadership concepts. It's not just about those simple buzzwords that most places look for when they're interviewing. It's or abstract theories. For me, nurturing leadership was more about the feel of the game. It's grounded in the science of how our brains function now in social settings, how they react to various stimuli, and how leaders can leverage this knowledge to create more effective team dynamics. So let's start with trust. And again, I will talk about that a little bit later on in another episode. A crucial component in any team environment. Neuroscience tells us that trust is linked for the release of oxytocin in the brain. When leaders build trust within their teams, they activate the trust hormone. Fostering that environment where team members feel safe, valued, and more willing to collaborate. Has any of you guys felt trusted before to go off and do something? I've worked at places actually where they've made me feel really good and vulnerable to be safe. And then when you brought that honesty and that openness back because you felt safe, and then that's the next level. It goes into deeper levels, doesn't it? Do they then crush you for it and judge you for it, or do they maintain that safe space afterwards? I don't like using the safe space. We've overused the phrase safe space in the last few years, I think. But that's another argument for a different day. So where was I at? So this isn't just a hunch. It's backed by research showing that teams with higher trust levels are more cohesive and perform better. Motivation is another key factor. Neuroscientific studies have identified the role of dopamine, the reward neurotransmitter, in driving motivation. So dopamine affects behavior. Serotonin affects mood, though. That's where I was going with serotonin. This isn't about flashy incentives, but rather about creating a work environment that provides a sense of accomplishment, recognition, and opportunities for growth. Collaboration, the cornerstone of successful teams. It's also influenced by neuroscience. Our brains are wired for social connection. And when leaders create an environment that encourages open communication and teamwork, they activate brain regions associated with social interaction. This leads to increased bonding among team members, fostering a collaborative spirit that boosts productivity. One fascinating aspect of neuroscience-based leadership is the understanding of emotional intelligence. This isn't just about being empathetic or understanding emotions. It's about recognizing how emotions influence our cognitive processes. Leaders who grasp this can navigate conflicts more effectively, manage stress, and make better decisions when considering both rational and emotional inputs. Now, let's talk about practical applications. Implementing neuroscience-based leadership isn't about a complete overhaul of management styles. It's about incorporating small, impactful changes into everyday leadership practices. For instance, incorporating regular feedback sessions and acknowledge achievements activates the brain's reward systems, promoting motivation. So encouraging teams, building activities, or fostering a culture of psychological safety triggers the release of oxytocin, building trust among team members. Whenever have you ever had that conversation where you're just talking and somebody relates to you and you connect and you just feel, I don't know what it is, but that is the oxytocin coming out. Don't know how to explain it, but that is the hormone coming out. So by incorporating, the neuroscience-based strategies, leaders can create environments where team members feel valued, engaged, and empowered. This is, this leads to higher levels of productivity, innovation, and overall job satisfaction. You want people to go home at night feeling great about themselves, right? If it is about you looking or feeling good as a leader, then you're going to get that from that alone most of the time. You would think. Anyway, so all right, let's move on to let's just remember though, it's not just about understanding the brain; it's about applying the knowledge to create better workplaces and stronger. And obviously being stronger, more productive teams. Let's look at decision making. This isn't, again, about making better choices. It's about understanding how our minds work and how leaders can steer towards more rational decisions, ultimately avoiding those costly errors. Let's kick things off by acknowledging that decision-making isn't just about logical process. It's influenced by various factors, including our brain's inherent biases. Cognitive biases are those sneaky mental shortcuts or tendencies that can lead us astray without us even realizing it. So take, for instance, confirmation bias. Our inclination to favor information that confirms our existing beliefs while disregarding contradictory evidence. As leaders, this bias can significantly impact decision-making. We might unintentionally, seek out data that supports our preconceived notions, ignoring vital information that could lead to more informed decisions. I suppose that's thinking with our emotions, taking our emotions into lead rather than being logical. Everything's become very, very logical in the business world in the last, 30 plus years. There's no halo effect where our overall impression of a person, company, or idea influence our opinions about their specific traits or aspects. This can cloud judgment, leading us to overestimate or underestimate certain elements without considering them objectively. So understanding these biases is pivotal because it allows leaders to pause, reassess, and question their own thought processes before making critical decisions. It's about creating a mental checklist to counteract these biases, promoting more rational and well-rounded decision-making. But it's not just biases that affect decision-making. Stress responses play a significant role too. So when we're under stress, our brains often shift into a fight-or-flight mode, the survival mechanism that can impair our ability to think logically and make sound judgments. So for leaders, this can be particularly detrimental, especially in high-pressure situations where quick, critical decisions are needed, straight away. Recognizing these stress responses, that though is key. It's about implementing the strategies to manage stress levels, whether through mindfulness techniques, delegation of tasks, or simply taking a breather before jumping into the decision-making process. That's the importance of the breather. Another breath book. I thought that was pretty useful. This isn't about avoiding stress, though. After all, it is a valued emotion that we go through. Body situation. It's a certain level of stress that can sometimes be motivating, but rather about managing it effectively to prevent it from clouding judgment. So how can leaders practically apply this knowledge to enhance decision-making? One way is to encourage a culture of open discussion and diverse perspectives within the team. By fostering an environment where different viewpoints are valued, leaders can mitigate, the impact of individual biases, allowing for more comprehensive decision-making processes. Implementing decision-making frameworks or processes that encourage critical thinking and reflection can also be incredibly beneficial. These frameworks provide a structured approach, reducing the likelihood of impulse decisions driven by biases or the stressful moments, stress responses. So in conclusion, though, recognizing cognitive biases and stress responses isn't about, eradicating them completely. After all, they're a part of human nature. It's about acknowledging their existence, understanding their impact, and adopting strategies to mitigate their influence on our decision-making. So let's come towards the end of that section. But remember, by being aware of mental processes, leaders can steer themselves and their teams towards more rational and effective decision-making. So let's look at boosting innovation. This is... I keep saying it's not just about the different sections, but it's not just about brain science. It's about understanding and leveraging neuroplasticity and how it can foster a culture of continuous learning, creativity, and adaptability, fueling innovation. Neuroplasticity is the rewiring of the brain. Recently, in the last 15 years, we've understood that you're not just set with your brain when you're fully developed. You can constantly learn. It's like learning a new instrument or learning a new language. You are creating a neural pathway in the brain by doing that. That's called neurogenesis. And then when it joins together and your synapses connections connect, you're forming a new pathway where the two pathways connect. And then myelination is when you've learned that and it becomes like a skill. It's like riding a bike. If you've never ride a bike in over 10 years, it's funny that you still know how to ride a bike. Well, you've myelinated that skill set. A fatty substance called myelin has basically covered over the neural pathway, and that skill is formed. And I think if we can think about that in this level in schools, we can understand the brain a lot deeper. We can start to understand how children learn at a much, much deeper level. Okay, so neuroplasticity, let's simply put it, it's the brain's incredible ability to rewire and recognize itself throughout life. It is a game changer. Since reading neuroplasticity books, it has been a game changer for me in our understanding, my understanding of the brain. Breaking up the old myth that our brains are static and unchanging. Instead, they're dynamic, they're adaptable powerhouses that are capable of forming new neural connections and pathways in response to learning experiences and challenges. So you might wonder, what does neuroplasticity have to do with innovation within organizations? Well, the answer lies in how this concept reshapes our approach to learning, being creative, and being adaptable within the workplace. So neuroplasticity underscores the importance of continuous learning. When individuals and teams grasp the idea that their brains are capable of growth and change, it cultivates a thirst for ongoing learning and development. My example, I've written all this because I wanted to be able to explain different little moments. I've never read a book until maybe a year ago. I'd not read one book. I lie, I read Alex Ferguson, the manager of Man United. Then I've read all of this. That was my continuous learning. So leaders who, can encourage and provide opportunities for continuous learning, create environments where employees feel empowered to expand their skill sets and explore new ideas and embrace innovation. Creativity thrives in neuroplastic environments. So, by understanding that our brains can adapt and create new connections, individuals are more inclined to think outside the box. But you know what? I do hate that saying. I don't think there should be a box. Let's take away the box. Let's just keep it open anyway. Explore unconventional solutions and take calculated risks. This fosters a culture where creativity is nurtured, leading to fresh perspectives and innovative breakthroughs. Neuroplasticity, it also promotes adaptability. In today's fast-paced and ever-evolving world, adaptability is a crucial trait. It is a crucial trait for organizations aiming to thrive. So when employees understand that their brains can adapt to new challenges and circumstances, they become more flexible and open to that change. I've changed my morning routine, and when I changed it at 1% each morning, my brain got used to that, and it became a habit, a daily habit, and I don't think much about it anymore. So, so the agility enables organizations to pivot, adjust strategies, and embrace innovation in the face of adversity. So how can leaders practically apply the concept of neuroplasticity to drive innovation within their organizations? Well, firstly, fostering a learning culture is the key. Encourage that continuous education, provide resources for skill development, and create spaces for knowledge and sharing and collaboration. This not only boosts individual growth, but also cultivates a collective mindset geared towards innovation. Secondly, embracing diversity of thought and experiences. Neuroplasticity teaches us connections. Encouraging diverse teams and inclusive environments stimulates creativity and innovation by bringing together varied viewpoints and ideas. And last, create an environment that celebrates experimentation and learning from failures. Neuroplasticity highlights that mistakes aren't setbacks, but opportunities for growth. Encouraging a risk-tolerant culture where employees feel safe to experiment and learn from failures fuels innovation and fosters resilience. Bringing it together, though, on this part, understanding and embracing neuroplasticity isn't a specific concept. It's a catalyst for fostering innovation within organizations. By cultivating a culture of continuous learning, nurturing creativity, and promoting adaptability, leaders can harness the power of the brain's plasticity to drive innovation and future-proof their organizations. So remember, our brains are remarkably adaptable. And harnessing this power, we can spark a wave of innovation in our workplaces. I am a teacher by trade, but I'm trying to make this general to most. And this might not fit maybe all business structures, but that's where, I suppose I'm learning as well. So let's have a look at reducing conflict. And how, let's explore how it conflicts with teams using neuroscience concepts. Reducing the conflicts using this type of approach. We'll explore how empathy and communication skill rooted in neuroscience can serve as powerful tools to mitigate conflicts are in fostering better relationships among team members. So conflicts within teams obviously is inevitable, but its resolution can be revolutionized through understanding how our brains function in social settings. Neuroscience sheds light on the significance of empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. This isn't merely a soft skill. It's deeply rooted in the way our brains are wired for social connection. When we comprehend the neuroscience behind empathy, it becomes a powerful tool for conflict resolution. Empathetic leaders can better, I suppose, understand the perspectives of conflicting partners, facilitating a deeper connection and enabling them to navigate through disagreements more effectively. I've been in situations where I might not have agreed with a particular decision, but I've respected it because they've understood and at the very least understood and related to my points, and then been able to justify why that can't maybe work in that moment. I love that. I don't walk away. Yeah, I'm disappointed it's not gone my way, but not my way. It's not about my way, but my decision side, my beautiful idea that I thought was perfect. I've walked away going, oh, I actually understand why. So so empathetic leaders can understand, going into that side of things, understanding those perspectives. Neuroscience, though, tells us that practicing empathy triggers brain regions associated with understanding other emotions, like reducing hostility, and promoting cooperation. Communication skills, also rooted in neuroscience, play a pivotal role in conflict resolution. Our brains are wired to process and interpret, verbal and non-verbal cues during communication. Understanding these mechanisms can significantly improve how we convey messages and perceive others' intentions, leading to more effective and empathetic communication. So how can leaders practically apply these neuroscience-based concepts to mitigate conflicts and improve relations within their teams? So first, let's look at fostering empathy and how it starts with maybe active listening, rather than, little things like having your phone on your desk. Even if it's upside down, it's subconsciously telling that other person that whatever happens on that phone is more important, even when they briefly look at it. I mean, you can use this in your normal life as well with friends and family and kids and whatnot. Subconsciously, it is in there that's more important, right? You ever felt like that? Kills me. Anyway, I'm sorry for those who feel guilty and listen to this. So, when leaders actively engage in empathetic listening, they create a safe space for team members to express themselves, without judgment. So this practice stimulates the brain empathy networks, promoting mutual understanding and reducing the intensity of conflicts. Another crucial aspect is emotional regulation. Neuroscience teaches us that emotions can hijack our rational thinking when conflicts arise. Leaders who model emotional regulation techniques such as mindfulness or breathing exercises two of many, create an environment where team members, can manage their emotions during those really weird moments, facilitating more constructive decisions and discussion points as well. So understanding non-verbal cues and body language is paramount, during effective communication. The research behind neuroscience indicates that a significant portion of our communication is actually nonverbal. Leaders who are attuned to these cues can better gauge emotions, intentions, and underlying concerns. I suppose thereby addressing conflicts with greater sensitivity and accuracy. Creating a culture of open and honest communication is the key, though. So neuroscience emphasizes the importance of psychological safety in teams. So when team members feel psychologically safe to voice their opinions and concerns without fear of retribution, it fosters the trust, strengthens relationships, mitigating potential conflicts before they escalate, I suppose. So leveraging neuroscience concepts such as empathy and effective communication skills can be transformative in reducing conflicts and enhancing relationship within the teams. Leaders, I suppose, who embrace these concepts create environments where understanding, collaboration, and respect thrive, leading to more harmonious and productive teams and the dynamics within each of those teams. And that, I suppose that connects with really enhancing and finishes off, I suppose, with enhancing the well-being. That is a crucial topic for leaders and teams at every workplace. So enhancing well-being through stress management techniques and mindfulness practices. We'll explore how these strategies not only support leaders' own well-being, but also contribute to cultivating a healthier work environment for the teams. So, I always bring it back to the teaching side of things. And I hear a lot of bosses and leaders in the department and in schools go, it's all about the kids. It's not all about the kids. It's all about the staff for you guys. It's all about the kids for the teachers or for the middle management. Of course they care about the kids. That's what they're there for. But it is your job to really create those environments for those staff members to feel present, in order to go and do their job. All right. So in the fast-paced world of, leadership, stress is obviously an unwelcome companion. Neuroscience, I suppose, teaches us that stress, when chronic, and in chronic meaning stress happens in little moments, that's okay. There's EU stress, which is good stress on, you need to put your body through stress. Your body can't be too comfortable all the time. That's not the same. This is real unrelated. Chronic is when it's consistent and it's all the time. Or unmanaged, it can wreak havoc on our brains and bodies. It burns the neural pathways. It's affecting our cognitive functions, decision-making abilities, and overall well-being. Overall well-being. That's a bit of a tongue twister, that one, I suppose. Never done that like that one before. This is not only impacts leaders, but also it trickles down. You ever been in a meeting and you've gone in okay and you've never been stressed and you come out stressed? That's because the person who leads you is stressed and you come out stressed. You inherit that emotion. It comes over. I forgot what I was thinking now. I've gone off track. So, if we're not only impacts the leaders, but it also trickles down. Like I mentioned, it's influencing, the team's dynamics. You do feel stressed when you come out of those meetings. That's happened a few times. I'm sure it's happened to one of you guys too. So, understanding the neuroscience behind stress management, again, we'll spend an episode on it. It is a game changer. It highlights the importance of adapting techniques that help regulate stress responses, promoting a healthier work environment for everyone involved. Sorry, I'm going to have a drink of my coffee. Never really spoken for this long. Some of you are going to laugh if you know me. Yeah, you have. One of the most, effective stress management is something that is supported by the neuroscience evidence, is mindfulness. And we talk about it a lot in schools, and we've started there's some businesses out there who actually have pods where you can go and sit in. Mindfulness practices such as meditation and deep breathing exercises, reading, breathe. I don't so much do meditation, but I do a lot of breath work. And I breathe. I've been focusing on this book, Breath, by James Nestor. He talks about the benefits of nasal breathing, and it's something I've really focused on over the last 3 or 4 months. Mindfulness practices such as meditation and deep breathing exercises, they're scientifically proven. We've been doing it for thousands of years, but they are proven to rewire the brain, reduce stress, and promoting emotional regulation. So when leaders incorporate mindfulness into their routines, They not only benefit personally, but they also set an example for the teams. By practicing mindfulness, moving the table there. By practicing mindfulness, leaders can actually better manage their own stress levels. And that's why I'm doing the Self in the Leadership program, because if we can understand ourselves at a deeper level, the leaders will go to work present, therefore setting that example. It enhances their resilience and ability to handle challenging situations. This in turn creates a ripple effect within the team, fostering a more positive and calmer work atmosphere. Stress management isn't, I suppose, solely about individuals. It's about promoting a culture of well-being within the entire place of work. Leaders who prioritize well-being by encouraging breaks, setting reasonable workloads, and providing resources for stress reduction empower the individuals and the teams to prioritize their own self-care and mental health. I hate saying mental fitness. I want to go with mental fitness. Implementing regular mindfulness sessions or offering resources for stress reduction techniques equips, it gives the team members tools to help manage their own stress levels. It doesn't only just improve individual well-being, though. It also enhances team dynamics, leading to increased collaboration, creativity, and I suppose overall productivity. For me, going home at the end of the day, looking forward to it the next day is the key. You don't even have to look forward to it. It's about waking up not wanting to go in, Another essential aspect supported by neuroscience is the impact of healthy work environment on brain function. Neuroscience studies have shown that a positive work environment categorized by trust, support, and a sense of belonging enhances cognitive functions and overall well-being. Leaders that prioritize creating these environments through effective communication, recognition of achievements, and fostering a sense of psychological safety contribute significantly to well-being for the teams. This isn't about boosting morale anyway. It's about optimizing brain function for better decision-making and problem-solving. So integrating stress management techniques and mindfulness practices into the leadership and team dynamics isn't just a trend. It's a science-based strategy for enhancing well-being. Leaders who prioritize their own well-being and promote a culture of mindfulness and stress reduction do create environments where everyone thrives, both personally and professionally. That's why we've got a little sub within Nurturing Leadership. That's why under our logo, we say we all deserve to thrive. All right, so let's wrap this part up. But just remember, prioritizing self-care, well-being, leaders can create workplaces where everyone's brain functions works at its best. All right, so let's look at navigating change successfully. It's about navigating change successfully and by understanding how our brains react to it. Again, coming back to the teaching, change happens every year, and then we change things constantly in the beginning of every year. I don't struggle with it, but I see a lot of people struggling with that change. So let's explore how this knowledge empowers leaders to implement change strategies that minimize resistance and facilitate smooth transitions within organizations. So change is a constant in our lives, but our brains often perceive it as a threat. Neuroscience sheds light on how our brains react to change. It triggers a series of responses rooted in our innate survival instincts. Understanding these reactions is a game changer for leaders aiming to lead their teams through transitions effectively. So firstly, our brains are wired to prefer familiarity. God, I struggle with some of those. It's too early in the morning. I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah. Oh my word, I've forgotten what I was going to say. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. So, wired to, stick with, we feel comfortable not changing so much, and routine, the importance of routine. But change disrupts this comfort zone, triggering a stress response. Neuroscience, it tells us that this response, if unmanaged, can lead to resistance and hinder the acceptance of change initiatives within organizations. Leaders who grasp these neurological reactions can tailor change strategies to minimize resistance. I suppose they can communicate the rationale behind changes, emphasizing the potential benefits and opportunities that come with the team, with them. Sorry, this approach helps alleviate the brain stress response by providing a clear understanding and a sense of purpose, facilitating a smoother transition. Furthermore, the brain's resistance to change is often linked to an uncertainty and the fear of unknown. I struggled with the fear of the unknown. It caused me a lot of anxiety, triggered from some workplace trauma that I endured about 9 years ago. So that was, fear of unknown is a tough one. A lot of bodies and minds struggle with it. So leaders, I suppose, who acknowledge and address this uncertainty by providing clear plans, timelines, for example, and support mechanisms, help mitigate these negative brain responses. Some of those brain responses, though, can be anxiety and stress. Neuroscience does show that uncertainty activates brain regions associated with those two things, anxiety and stress. So implementing change strategies that promote a sense of control and environment among team members is crucial. Neuroscience emphasizes that when individuals feel a sense of agency and involvement in the change process, it reduces feelings of uncertainty and fear, making transitions more manageable. Another key aspect highlighted by neuroscience is the importance of gradual adaptation. Not just that quick change at the beginning of each year, or whichever, if you're in the financial year, the beginning of a new financial year, whatever that industry you may be in. Our brains respond better to incremental changes rather than abrupt, massive shifts. Leaders who break down larger changes into smaller, manageable steps help the brain accumulate. I can't even say it. I suppose come through slowly, 1% at a time. It runs more smoothly and adapts to those new circumstances, reducing resistance and increasing acceptance. So neuroscience emphasizes the significance of fostering a growth mindset. Leaders who promote a culture that celebrates learning, resilience, and adaptation help reframe a change as an opportunity for growth rather than a threat. This shift in perspective aligns with the brain's capacity for neuroplasticity, enabling individuals to embrace change more positively. So in conclusion to that part, understanding how the brain reacts to change isn't just theoretical. It's a practical tool for leaders navigating transitions within their organizations by tailoring change strategies and to align with the brain's responses. Leaders can minimize resistance, alleviate stress, and facilitate smoother transitions. So remember, change it's going to happen. It's inevitable. But with the right strategies grounded in neuroscience, leaders can change their teams through transitions with greater ease and success. All right, so let's look at, we are coming towards the end, but let's just quickly look at fostering positive organization culture. So today, we're going to embark on, we are going to go into a little bit more detail later on in another episode, but we'll uncover how applying principles derived from neuroscience can pave the way for a workplace culture that not only attracts, but also retains top talent within organizations. So let's dive deep into that for a second. A positive organization culture isn't just about ping pong tables and free snacks. I've been to Facebook and they've got, they do have everything there, but the culture is amazing. Everyone's happy to go to work. It was insane. But there are other places you go to and they've got the pods, they've got couches to sit on, and they think that fills the void in. I've been to meetings where you throw snacks at people and do quizzes to lighten the load, but the essence of the meeting still happens, and people still walk away feeling pretty crap about themselves, or crap about where they're going in the direction based on what was said in the meeting. But leaders, I think, feel okay with that meeting because of how they started off or how they finished, with a quiz and a bit of a laugh here and there. I don't know. That's just my take on it. So it's not just about, the ping tables and so on. It's about creating an environment where individuals thrive, collaborate, and feel that sense of purpose. Neuroscience provides us with invaluable insights into how our brain responds to different workplace stimuli, influencing our behaviors, motivations, and overall satisfaction. So let's talk about the brain's response to positive environments. Neuroscience tells us that positive workplace experiences trigger the release of neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, what I mentioned earlier, often referred to as the feel-good chemicals in the brain. They're neurotransmitters that play a crucial role in motivation, happiness, and overall well-being. Leaders who understand this can design workplace experiences that stimulate these neurotransmitters. Recognizing employee achievements, fostering a sense of belonging, and providing opportunity for growth and development are all strategies rooted in neuroscience that contribute to a positive workplace culture. Neuroscience emphasizes the importance of psychological safety within teams. So when individuals feel psychologically safe, their brains are more receptive to, collaboration, innovation, making mistakes, risk-taking. Leaders who prioritize creating environments where diverse opinions are valued and mistakes are seen as learning opportunities, then nurturing a culture where individuals feel safe to express themselves and contribute fully. Applying neuroscience principles also involves understanding the brain's response to social connection. Our brains are wired for social connection. Even people who are a bit quieter, deep down, from the day dot, social interaction was the key. And fostering strong interpersonal connections within the workplace has a profound impact on organization, on the culture in places. I'm a talker. I know people get sick of it. I'm okay with it. But, man, say hi in the morning. How are you? Don't walk past and ignore them. Even if you're having a bad day, even if you're busy, say hey. Absolutely kills me. Yeah, I don't know. So I have to think about that for a little minute. We want people to feel safe so, they can contribute fully to themselves, applying them. I was overthinking that thought, I suppose, but social connection is so deep. I remember somebody saying, we don't come here to have fun. We come here to do business, or we come here to work. Man, it's a privilege. It's not a privilege to be happy. It's a right to be happy. Anyway, there we go. And so leaders, I suppose, who facilitate, team bonding, encouraging meaningful relationships, and prioritize open communication, tap into the brain's social circuits, creating that positive and supportive culture. Neuroscience highlights, the importance of reducing stress within the workplace. Chronic stress, though, negatively impacts the brain's cognitive functions and overall well-being. Leaders who implement strategies to manage and reduce stress, such as promoting work-life balance. Leaders stay late on purpose sometimes. Not on purpose, that's the wrong thing to say, but they stay so late. And you actually feel guilty leaving early because they're late. They should be going, not early, leaving early, but leaving at a reasonable time, acknowledging, hey, go home, have dinner with your family, Let's do that tomorrow. We'll be all good. That's okay. Anyway. What was I going to say? Forgot what I was going to say. Encouraging, the mindfulness practice, contribute to a healthier, diet. Have a healthier diet. That will contribute to a more positive work environment within itself. So additionally, neuroscience informs us about the brain's preference for purpose and meaning. Individuals seek fulfillment and a sense of purpose in their workplace. We all do. Of course we do. But leaders who articulate a compelling vision, align it with employees' values and aspirations, instill a sense of purpose that goes beyond the day-to-day tasks. This connection to a larger purpose boosts that engagement and fosters a more positive culture. So, leveraging neuroscience principles isn't just about understanding the brain, it's about creating a working environment that nurtures the brain's natural inclinations. So, by applying these insights, leaders can create a positive organization culture that attracts top talent, if you will, or, word gets around, right? Equally important, you want to keep hold of staff. Everybody knows when there's a high turnover. I know there's other things that goes on in people's lives, but when the pattern reoccurs every year, I think we know why. It's fairly, fairly obvious. So we want leaders to craft a positive organization culture that brings all those people back and retains them. So let's wrap up today's exploration of applying the neuroscience. I'm learning. There's things that I've put in there and researched and read in all of these things, kind of put them together. And I'm definitely learning all about these things. So don't take my word for it. But it's just my knowledge and my feelings with it mixed in with some of the literature that I have read. But remember, I think culture that aligns with our brain's preferences not only attracts the talent, but it also cultivates an environment where I suppose everyone can thrive. And again, nurturing leadership talks about we all deserve to thrive. So next week, I'm going to spend an episode on emotional intelligence, and we'll go through some of that. And I'm really looking forward to talking about emotional intelligence. We will look through conflict resolution connected to that. We will look at decision making, and we will look at team morale, adaptability again, and trust and loyalty within emotional intelligence. So it's not that we were repeating ourselves, but I will be going through each of those subheadings and how they connect to each of the neuroscience concepts, I suppose. So yes, look out for, if you've missed the Purpose series, please go back. We are on, I put things upon Apple, which isn't a visual, but YouTube and Spotify is a video, and Apple's just audio. I am new to this. I am learning. I get things wrong. I keep erming. And when I listen to it back, it kills me. But I'm okay with it because I'm learning. And it is weird to kind of, look at this dot here. But yeah, please follow, please subscribe. And I'm looking forward to filming the new podcast, Leading Our Own Way, some amazing inspirational stories. So please go and follow those channels too. And good news, leadingoуrownway.com is coming out soon. I'm learning about building websites. Never done that side of things before. So if you're out there feeling a bit insecure about what you do, whether it's leading or your job, it's okay. And you should be made feel safe to be vulnerable. So remember that, I'm getting this wrong every day. I spent the last year and a half doing an hour a day, and this holidays I've just gone for it. And it's about taking those small, simple steps to where you want to get yourself at comfortably, I suppose. Anyway, enough talking from me. I'm going to go and spend the day with my little man, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day at work or a wonderful sleep, depending on what time of the day that you listen to this. Stay connected. Please come back for more, and I hope you're getting something out of it, because I'm learning. The more I talk about it, the more I do these podcasts, I'm learning as well. And sometimes I go off and read, but sometimes I'm reading from a script and that I've written and taken a long time. So, and I'm learning as I go too. I suppose I'm leading my own way, but I want nurturing leadership to reach people who are struggling at work, if they are being bullied, or if they are struggling with team members, or if the leaders are wanting to learn, or they need to reflect on their own journey and their own purpose. Let's do it together. Anyway, enough talking, because I could talk forever, but have a great day and come back next week for the next episode, where we'll probably look at the emotional intelligence side of things. Please go and follow. Take care, everybody. I've just looked down. I need to get in that whole point of looking up here, a habit that I'm trying to do and conquer. My producer will kill me. I'm only joking. She's awesome. But she's giving me tips. Even about bulbs. Won't get into that right now. Anyway, enough from me. You take care, guys, and be good. Thank you for tuning into our Nurturing Leadership podcast, where we delve into the art of compassionate guidance and fostering growth. Your continued support is invaluable to us, so please subscribe and follow us on all your favourite platforms. We are currently on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. Remember, great leadership starts with nurturing. Nurturing leadership creates lasting impact. Stay tuned for upcoming episodes filled with insightful discussions. We appreciate you joining on this journey. Thank you for listening.